Well, that was the final score. Thursday night, 31-24. Number 2 Oregon goes down. College football playoff hopes for the time being go off the rails. I'm Andrew Greif, Tyson Alger. We watched from the press box a pretty discouraging game if you're an Oregon fan. If you're an Arizona fan and you've just beaten Oregon for the second straight year, first time that's happened since 06-07, you're celebrating like crazy. That's not what we're writing for right now, though. We're trying to take the Oregon perspective and what went wrong for them today. A lot of things went wrong. What stands out to you off the top of your head after interviews?
After interviews was just some of the, they were saying the things you kind of expected them to do. Like, we're going to, this was just another game. We're going to take it one at a time, But there was some weird phrasing of just like, oh, no, I thought we played great this game. Or it was almost like a little tone deaf. I think that's like the word we were using earlier. Just this was a really bad game on both sides of the ball. Offensively, they didn't look great. I wrote about the defense. They gave up 495 yards, 210 on the ground. And when they needed to make a couple big stops, they had two big ones on 3rd and 4th down on Arizona's first drive of the 4th quarter. But then the next go around, Arizona comes back down. They think they have Solomon sacked for a loss. Tony Washington's flagged for a bowing penalty. He did
unsportsmanlike conduct. It was 4th and 17. Now all of a sudden it's 1st and goal.
And the thing that's going to get lost in that is 2 plays before that it was 3rd and 20 and they allowed a 24-yard gain for first down there. So I mean, just you can pinpoint that Washington thing, but it was just a bad effort altogether.
This one's gonna obviously stick in Oregon's craw for a long time. They go to UCLA next week.
Who's all of a sudden playing great.
And also, they had 12 days to prepare for this game. That's, I think that's not acceptable if you're an Oregon fan. Arizona is a good team, but they had a redshirt freshman quarterback and a true freshman running back, a defense that was pretty poor. The line was 23 points. No one really saw this one coming except for Rich Rodriguez, and his unit really played well. Anu Solomon, Nick Wilson, Terrence Jones-Grisby. They combined for about 205 yards on the ground. Basically, they just gashed them like they did last year in Tucson. But then they added the throwing component. You throw in, was it 10 Oregon penalties?
10 Oregon penalties for, I think, 79 yards.
And it's a perfect storm for an upset. And this is it was a bizarre ending, too. Even last year, when they were thinking about losing, Oregon State, they had that final drive, that miraculous drive. There are these moments where you thought, no, Oregon's not going to lose because Marcus Mariota is too good. He's the Heisman winner. This time, though, the ball was taken out of his hands quite a bit and given to these up-the-gut running plays. I assume he had an option to run on those, but a lot of times it went to Royce Freeman, who had about 80 yards. He fumbled twice, including the final turnover. Just a weird game overall.
Which, that final fumble, I think everyone in the stands expected on the replay to see, oh, his knee was down or something, but just it was so plain as day that ball came out and just the air just came straight out of the stadium.
Huge play before we go. Fumble return for a touchdown by Tyson Coleman, about 80 yards, it felt like, maybe not quite that far. It was overturned and ruled that he was down. That's 7 points and a huge momentum shift. It was basically a 14-point swing because Arizona scored. That's a huge play that they didn't get. It looked iffy, but again, you're going to go back and say, what if? That's what Mark Helfrich said in his presser.
Definitely.
We'll see you next week in Pasadena.